Hello and welcome. I am Mundane Failure. This is Magic the Gathering. Let's play. Alright, so I have here a Jeskai list that I want to play in Historic. I'm practicing for the Hooglandia Open that is in just a few days from now. I know I definitely want to play a control deck. I don't know if I want that to be Esper, blue-white, blue-black, or Jeskai. So I'm going to test here a Jeskai list that I just kind of threw together. A couple of things to note. We're playing 2 Wrath of God, 2 Day of Judgment in the main deck to play around cards like Necropotence. We're playing 3 Narset with 1 Commit to Memory. That's a great combo. You want to have it if you can. Only 3 Shark Typhoon. I love this card. I really couldn't find a 4th copy of it in the main deck because everything else I think I want to play either 1 or 4. So 3 copies of Shark Typhoon, 1 Lorehold Command, 1 Prismari Command. I think that both of these cards are exceptional when they're good, but when they're bad, they're bad. Expressive Iteration here for our card selection. Instead of Brainstorm, because we're playing Jeskai, I wanted to play a bunch of dual lands, and so I just didn't have room for Fabled Passage and basic lands, so that's why we're playing Expressive Iteration. 4 Lightning Helix, it's good. It's going to help us against the aggro decks. And then Memory Lapse and Absorb for our counter spells, which are just going to, really help us get ahead. Absorb, again, gain 3 life, really good for the aggro matchups. And then 2 Rest in Peace in the main deck, 2 in the sideboard. I really, really don't like playing against the graveyard decks, and I want to just have that extra little edge against them. So that's why we're playing 2 Rest in Peace in the main deck, and that's also why we're not playing Search for Azcanta. I want to be able to beat Phoenix. I want to be able to beat the Mizzix Mastery decks in Game 1, and I think that Rest in Peace is a really good way to do that. It's really good against the red-black sacrifice decks, cat combo, so it's just so good in a lot of matchups. Plus, it shuts down opponents' Search for Azcantas in terms of flipping, so that's why they're in the main deck. Might be right, might be wrong, I don't know. Sideboard, we got a couple more counter spells just for the Mirror Match, Timely Reinforcements for the aggro, 2 Deafening Clarion, so I want to be able to board up to 6 Wraths, and then it comes down a turn earlier, Wraths the board, and it's a different name, so that's why we're playing that. Baneslayer and Lyra, just really good in a lot of matchups, I found, so we want to have those. Authority of the Console, good against like Goblins if people are playing that, for instance. There's a combo deck that makes a bunch of 1/1s. It beats again the extra 2 Rest in Peace, more counter spells, more Dovin Vetoes, and then Aether Gust for the red-green decks. So having gone through the deck, we're going to jump into some games, see how it goes, see if any changes need to be made, and adjust accordingly. Here we are. We get to go first, and we've got all of our mana, and we've got things to do, so we're going to go ahead and keep this. See what the opponent does. They keep a hand of 7. And we're going to be playing on tap land on turn 1 a lot. We have nothing to do on turn 1, so I'm happy to play a tap land. We're going to hold up our Lightning Strike. Lightning Helix, rather. Mardu. Okay. Probably not going to get a lot of targets, so we're just going to go face with this while we can. And let's hold up Prismari / Memory Lapse. And they've been an Nico Bolas. So either they're 5-color Nico Bolas or Grixis Splashing Trilands. I think we're going to dome them and loot. And I'm glad we did that. We really did not want to draw that many lands. Jesus. I mean, I guess that's going to happen sometimes when you're running 26, but still, it's kind of crazy. Yeah, you can look at our hand. My goodness. And I am running the wrong saplands for blue-red, so we'll have to fix that. I will memory lapse this. It's gonna shut the... It's a huge mana advantage. This does not appear to be the 5-color list.
This isn't a hurry.
Narset is a good draw. I'm happy to see her.
Past, present, and keep an open mind.
Lightning Helix is great. Lightning Helix lets us extend the duration on our Narset. Fatal Push goes to the bin.
You need to take a time out.
And Teferi Tux. While the opponent casts their Behold the Multiverse. And we get our own Teferi, which is excellent to see. I think we're going to draw a card here to get closer to that Narset.
Keep up the pace.
And then we can tuck his Teferi next turn if we want to. Leave Shark Typhoon as an option for us. Maybe we want to play it as a 2/2.
Hold that thought.
There's a chance I just want to... Oh, second Teferi. Interesting.
I won't hide from the world any longer.
So they tuck our Teferi with their Teferi.
Slow down.
So now Shark Typhoon has a Planeswalker to kill. Unless they have another Fatal Push in hand. We are really just flooding out here. Drown in the Lock. Interesting. I'm going to hold both these lands. Just conceal a little bit of information here. Thoughtseize. They hardcast a Tybalt, which means they get to take our Teferi. And they have a Chandra. So I think we might have lost this one.
Succumb to chaos. Make no mistake. I'm not.
Also realize we're not playing either Castle that we might want to play. Let's go and scoop this game up. Shumpo's got it. We'll bring in Dovin's Veto. Saw it coming. Rest in Peace can come out. As can the Wraths. And bring in both Angels. Take out Prismari Command, I suppose. Yeah, seems fine. A little slow, but it can work. And I guess the Spire Bluff Canal actually works in our favor here. And we don't want to expressive iteration on 2 because we want to make a land drop. And opponent holding up counter magic here. I'm going to hold up counter magic as well. We'll wait until turn 5 to cast one of these expressive iterations, when we can also memory lapse. Or Dovin's Veto. They may just let it go. So we'll put Shark Typhoon in our hand. Irrigated Farmland on the bottom. We will play the land from the Exile Zone. Man, Expressive Iteration is a good Magic card. I don't think it's seeing enough play, honestly. It is so powerful that I think it should see more play than it does. So we get to put, let's put Lorehold Command in the hand, Shark Typhoon on the bottom. And let's go to our end step, see if they want to do anything. Doesn't look like it. So we'll just Lightning Helix their face, so we don't have to discard. Thought Distortion cannot be countered. Yep, I'm sure.
My mind needs a rest.
I don't think that we can come back from this, but we'll certainly try. That'll do it. Let's go ahead and, I'm going to go ahead and change those lands, and then I'll be back for the next game. Alright, so what I did was I fixed the Spiral Bluff Canals, and I trimmed 2 Cliff Trop Retreat to add Castle Vantress and Castle Ardenvale. Seems fine. Am I being too loud? It looks like we're playing against elves here. Sulphur Falls. We'll bolt the elf. Scoos. Let's go ahead and nurse it here.
If you wish to surrender, meditate.
Ooh.
Prepare.
I'll take the Lightning Helix. We're gonna lose the Narset here more than likely. That does slow them down. No
Such
land?
violence is
Okay, there's the
upsetting.
land. No creature. Let's bolt this before they can make it bigger in any way. And they're just gonna exile cards from our graveyard. That is perfectly fine. If they've collected company here, we have Memory Lapse. We need Spellbinder. We will Memory Lapse that. And easy to ferry.
Not keep up the pace.
And we get to cycle this Irrigated Farmland after they peek at our hand and make our Wrath of God cost 6. Memory Lapse, Expressive Iteration. Let's draw a card before we do anything.
We need to move quickly.
I'll Expressive Iteration here. Nothing but lands. That's brutal. So we can either scry 2 or memory lapse. Teferi's gonna fall to 3 here. Teferi's gonna fall to 2. I can't allow them to play land Coco.
Enough.
Raideen will get memory lapsed. Because that makes our Wrath of God cost 8. And we need to wrap the board here to keep Teferi alive.
Let's skip to the good part.
So that is what we will do. Leave open Lightning Helix mana. They do not take the bait.
Keep up the pace.
We're just flooding out again.
Mind and body should move and hone your prowess.
Take a Shark Tiff in here. We get to make a pretty big shark here. Yeah. I mean, opponent doesn't know that we have 4 lands in hand, but Narset plus Teferi, pretty unbeatable. So we want Deafening Clarions. We want Aether Gust. We want the Angels. Timely's fine. Rest in Peace can go. Prismari can go. Laurel can go. We can trim on the Sharks and commit. And I didn't even realize this is a top 1000 gamer. Yeah, seems good. We draw another Wrath. Man, they've just got it all here. Sulfur Falls is probably the play. And we have to memory lapse this. Tell me they're going to miss a land drop. They do. We get to Deafening Clarion, which is excellent news for us, because that means when the Lovestruck Beast half comes down, we get to absorb that. We'll just absorb it now. We'll go ahead and memory lapse that. Just keep shutting them down. And the opponent, probably frustrated, concedes. Can't say I blame him there. And we're playing against a frown on my face. Someone trying to get into the top 1200. Let's see if we can stop them. Yeah, this hand seems perfectly serviceable. Jeskai Triumph. There's an argument that we should be playing some of those. They don't even have fancy basics. Are you gonna make a baby shark? Prismari? Make a treasure and faithless loot? We could have gone for expressive iteration there, but I think that we want to wait a turn. And we will memory lapse your memory lapse. We will put expressive iteration in hand.
This isn't a fight. Hurry!
I'll pay 2 life here. We want to make a shark as big as possible.
No time for a break.
Our opponent misses their land drop. See if they have any way to interact with the shark at instant speed here. Commit. Which means we just get to resolve our own Teferi. Main deck Mystical Dispute. Delvin's Veto, they have the treasure token. I forgot about that damn treasure token.
Hurry!
I train every day. Know the thoughtfulness before action.
Brainstorm resolves. Expressive iteration resolves. I want them to spend as much mana as possible so that we can go for this lore hold command. They have another Teferi that they put in exile. That's interesting.
Let's skip to the good part.
I have just the trick for this.
Whiff on Narset. So we will Lightning Helix and make a 3/2. We will absorb the memory lapse. It looks like we're going to get to resolve this lore hold command.
That didn't pan out.
The opponent does get to have 4 mana going into their turn here. Lightning Helix for the token, okay.
I know 88 ways to defeat you. Pick one. Keep an open mind.
Ugh, I'd rather have whiffed. We'll just hold up memory lapse here. Lightning Helix. Yeah, that's gonna resolve.
I have reached my limit.
You know what? I'm not.
Discarding Magma Opus. Well, let's go for a Narset here. We'll go for Memory Lapse on Memory Lapse.
There are so many mysteries to uncover. Meditate and prepare.
Take a Shark Typhoon.
No time for a break.
Narset is stopping them from launching off this memory. Let's make it 3/3 and see if they have another Lightning Helix. Torrential Gearhulk into Lightning Helix. I suppose Magma Opus does the same thing, but better. Because it also lets them deal 1 damage to the Narset. So they're just going for Narset and face. Interesting.
This was overwhelming.
Absorb is a nice draw. Steam Vents is not. So unfortunately, I think we have to go for Teferi here. We cannot allow Teferi to ultimate.
Do you want me
And we have to go for
phase
Dave
you out of
Judgment.
time?
And allow them to think we have something. But I think we lose this game. Unfortunately, we're going to redraw this memory here. Memory lapse.
Keep up the pace.
Opponent has a stop on our step. That'll do it. Alright, so we want Dovin's Veto, we want Saw It Coming. I kind of like the Angels. Rest in Peace can go. Can get rid of a couple of Wraths. Lorehold and Prismari are a little weak. And because he's got Narset of his own, we'll go down the commit. Seems good. We can get down this Baneslayer on 4, we just win. Sorry, Baneslayer on 5. I think I'm just gonna cycle this land. I didn't really want to draw another Angel there. And cycle a treasure. The Expressive Iteration. Searching for red mana. Had we played that differently, we could have played the Irrigated Farmland on 2, Glacial Fortress on 3, and absorbed. Probably would have been better for us. Let's go for a Lyra. Mystical Dispute, that's fine. Opponent plays a tapped land. I think I'll go for Baneslayer here. I just want to run them out of their counter spells so that we can get to Fairy down. These Angels are kind of must answer. Memory lapse, let us redraw it. Try and find a real answer for it next turn. It's a fairy.
Right on schedule. Hurry.
Well, let's assume they don't have a counter. And try to get rid of this Teferi. They do.
Hold that thought.
Well, let's go to the main Slayer. And she resolves. Probably gonna get to Fairy Tucked. Just gonna scoop to that. We'll play one or two more here. We get to go first. Well, we got the rest in peace, so let's hope this is a matchup where it's good. They're playing black. Inquisition probably takes it if they are weak to it. Looks like they're going for the absorb. Fake a counter spell here. Ugh, brutal. That's just absolutely brutal. That's why we don't play 4. Yeah, take my Teferi. Oh. Well, we will play Narset.
I have practiced against many. Hone your prowess.
Shark Typhoon's okay. Thoughtseize. Oh my gosh. Just got all of the hand disruption. That's brutal.
I must stay focused.
Well, Herald Command's not bad if we can hit a land.
With thoughtfulness before
I'll take an Expressive Iteration. Put Shark Typhoon in hand. Wrath of God on the bottom. It's annoying that that happens every time. Herald Command can turn one of those Rest in Peace into 2 cards. Get rid of Wrath and Absorb. Yeah, we're just gonna hardcast a Shark Typhoon here. I imagine that any spell we cast is just gonna be insane. Hopefully they don't have another discard outlet. I'd love to resolve this lore hold command. Chandra. Okay, okay.
I'm Chandra. The immolation? Hope it's not too hot for you.
So I think we've just got to deal with this Chandra first.
Me? Or is it getting a little warm in here?
Oh, Chandra. It's gonna make a 5/5. Just on cast, so we're gonna Lightning Helix, make a 3/2, make a 5/5 Shark from the Typhoon, and hopefully not get Fatal Pushed.
I like your energy.
It's a +2, so there's no way we can erase it. So we've just got to erase the opponent here. I don't think there's any way we can. We need like Lightning Helix and the Lightning Helix and the Lightning Helix. Not land and the land and the land.
Oh, looks like someone's getting a little sweaty.
Like Teferi might be good enough. Absorb definitely isn't, because there's no way they're casting a spell. Can't believe he just cast a spell there.
I've always wanted to make a really big fireball.
Okay. So now you're just gonna let your emblem kill us, right? That is so frustrating. We drew so many lands. Goodness. Maybe we want like one Wrath. Opponent's mulliganing. Down to 5. Inquisition. Takes timely. Should have played the Glacial there. That was a mistake. An effing Burglar Rat. Get rid of the Absorb that he knows about. Valky takes nothing. I do love this artwork for Valky. No point in taking 2 here. We really want to protect our life total as much as possible. Just gonna Teferi and want to draw as many cards as possible.
Sorry I'm late.
Murderous Rider.
I suppose that's how it was meant. No time for a break.
I'll take 1 from the rat. I'd rather Lightning Helix the Murderous Rider. Now we get the choice between make a 1/1 and scry 2. Here I'm gonna make a 1/1 and trade.
Ruining your day is going to feel great.
Discard excess land. I don't hate that.
Sorry for your loss.
More excess land is just absurd.
We're doing things
Discards
my
a
way.
Chandra.
Get a grip, Liliana.
Bone Crusher Giant. I don't like either of those.
Sorry for your loss.
We'll discard the commit to memory, draw expressive iteration, and hopefully find a Narset.
I have no interest in fighting here.
I suppose if we find a Narset, we'll have a tough time doing anything with her. I really don't want to give the opponent 7 cards. But it might be our only option here soon.
Don't you just love the smell of death?
So I think we pretty much lose. I mean, this is our only shot. And even this isn't good enough most of the time.
Fine. I can see I'm not wanted.
So next turn, we Teferi tuck the Kroxa, hold open absorb. Another Kroxa. Into a Gifted Aetherborn. I think we still have to Teferi tuck
I'm no
the Kroxa.
Let's take it back.
I wish I had discarded the absorb instead of the memory lapse. And then just going face, which is smart. Gotcha. Chandra.
Let's do this. This'll be easy.
And I thought we had 5 mana. We do have 5 mana. That's red, so that's
Today's my
interesting.
lucky day.
Oh,
I've got other things to burn.
that's so tough. That's so brutal.
Good luck while I'm gone.
How am I not? How am I drawing lands still? This is
My
ridiculous.
prowess is unmatched. I have just the trick for this.
Then they replay Kroxa and we're dead. Oh, that was frustratingly brutal. We're back here for a 5th. Opponent gets to go first. Their Allura stack. So an aggro deck. Start with the land that always comes into play tapped. Horus. I mean, Rest in Peace isn't going to be horrible against them, but it's certainly not going to be great. We'll hold open absorb here. They get to draw a card either way. Hateful Eidolon. We'd really like a Wrath. Let's go ahead and Expressive Iteration. Cycle Shark Typhoon if we want to. And just play out Aluris. They do have a land drop. We'll hold open Lorehold Command or Shark. We can Lightning Helix and trade. They got the Selfless Spirit. Let's make a 3/3 Shark. And make them use the Selfless Spirit. Interesting. Because they had a second one. Eidolon doesn't trigger there because the creature didn't die. It went into exile. For anyone who's curious. So even if we had targeted the dog, we would gain 3 life anyways, because on the line of text, they're separate sentences. So we need exactly Wrath here. So I like Rest in Peace versus Auras. I like the Angels. I like the Dovin's Vetoes. Not in love with Commit if I'm bringing in both Rest in Peace, Trim the Narsets. I really don't want to go down my removal. Maybe Shark Typhoon is just too slow. Their creatures are going to get too big if we have to wait that long. So we want to like Lightning Helix them early. Yeah, this is a keep. It's correct to play Hallowed Fountain there. That way any check land comes into play untapped. Duress. Looks like they're going to take Expressive Iteration. That's what I would take. Just figure out how to beat the Rest in Peace. I take Narset. Unpunished for not playing the Hallowed Fountain. Oof, brutal. Well, we do get to Wrath the board here. Hopefully that's good enough. I'm gonna tuck with the Teferi.
Trust me.
Hopefully they don't have a third
Let's take it back.
Core Spirit Dancer. And of course they do. And they have the SRAM.
Hurry.
Get rid of Rest in Peace and land there. And unfortunately, we have to let the first artifact or enchantment resolve.
How long do you want to wait for a rematch?
It's a Luris. I'll just absorb that, since they know about the absorb. Now we've absorbed memory lapse available to us. We'll absorb that. Sentinel's Eyes. Let them draw their card before we memory lapse. All that glitters. So unfortunately, I don't think there's much we can do here. Especially not when we just keep drawing lands. World Command can let us do something tricky in a pinch. Not anymore. Power toughness is just going to be too high. My goodness. Absurd. No action whatsoever. Alright, well, that's a little bit of a frustrating end. but we're going to go ahead and call it there. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed it. If you didn't enjoy it, hit the dislike button. That's fine too. Have a nice day.